Alright guys, so for this run, we fighting Libra. One thing I wanted to do is find madness, like find a madness weapon to try to get the madness to trigger on the boss. And I was kind of curious as to what happens if you were able to do that, or how easy the boss fight becomes. So I kind of figured that the Revenant is probably the character you have the best chance of finding a madness item, just because you're kind of just going around looking for all of these seals, and if you can get a seal to drop with madness on it, you could probably be able to proc it on pretty easily. But for this run, so far I won't spoil it, but we do find madness, and you do get to see how the boss fight looks if you do manage to find a madness weapon. It's actually a lot easier for sure, but I will say, generally speaking, you don't really need it. It's not nearly required. Um, but yeah, for the Revenant, I'll do a guide on her in a shorter video at some point. But basically, I'm running the relic that gives you extra attack for each Evergel, and the other two relics from her remembrance, I think. So it's decent damage boosting. Nothing crazy or nothing too specific or nothing near perfect. But yeah, so basically we only looking for sword stone keys, of course. Trying to get as many of those as we can. But yeah, I think the ultimate art gauge feeling when you kill enemies is really good for her as well. It just gives your ult really often. You can kind of fight carelessly because it makes you immortal for 15 seconds. So anytime you're trying to, really kill a boss, it's really good for that. As you can see, we got lucky right there. We actually got two of the sword stone keys, which is really nice. I think that's like really rare. I'm not sure what the percent chance may be, but it's definitely very rare. But yeah, but generally that's kind of my route these days. I do think because of it, the game has become a lot easier. Kind of clearing all the other jails. They might have made it a little bit too powerful. You know, I'm gonna take a wild guess here and assume that for the newer bosses, they're probably gonna be pretty strong, especially in the DLC. Just kind of based on how Elden Ring Nightreign was. DLC bosses definitely stepped it up a bit. But yeah, here I'm just checking my teammates' relics. If you didn't know, you can go to your inventory and look at them, scroll over on the D-pad or whatever keys on the keyboard and mouse. I usually do this to see if my team have any sword stone keys of their own. That kind of lets me know uh, if I can go to an Evergel if I've already ran out of keys, or if I want to ping this position. Sometimes they forget they're carrying one, so it's really helpful. Look at these crystallians here. Pretty easy to break poise with your golem or skeleton guy that you summon. But yeah, and maybe this maybe madness will be required for the enhanced version of the Libra boss. I don't know, but I imagine he's probably gonna be quite a bit more difficult once he gets his enhanced version. So maybe try the Revenant out if you're looking for that. Like I said, her ult also really clutch as well. It revives your teammates, also makes you immortal for 15 seconds. So she's really solid in a fight against them. But yeah, like I said again, I'm just heading over to another one of these castles, trying to collect the Evergel keys. That's kind of usually what I do for my teammates. I just ping the nearest castle to the nearest Evergel, and usually they follow me when I'm in randoms. Sometimes I play with some pre-maze, and of course they go a lot more smoother. But I like to try to cater to an actual realistic experience for the average player, because a lot of the times you don't get the ideal team, but more often than not, it can work. But yeah, again, grabbing the sword stone key in here. It's usually a pretty good chance it drops one. I don't feel like I've not found a key in this castle layout more than I have found not found one in the other one, where it's like at the top of the stairs. that Dragon Maul deals quite a bit of damage. It's one of the better spells. Like I said, you see, I took that damage right there, even though I got 0 health. I don't die. Yeah. Revenant, she's definitely one of my favorites. You know, sometimes I don't like the RNG she gets. For some reason, I don't feel like the ideal weapon for her drops very often like other characters. Like you usually get, you know, a guaranteed great sword with Wilder or guaranteed bows with the Iron Eye. But for Revenant, a lot of times I don't get seals to drop. So I feel like her runs are a little bit more RNG based. It definitely depends. Sometimes you're going to get what you're looking for or even better. Other times you pretty much won't get anything you need. But yeah, but usually as long as you find a good incantation, just one good incantation is usually enough to carry the run. I always feel like when I play her, for Libra specifically, I don't find a madness incantation. And usually I only find it when I'm like playing some other map, when I don't need it. You know, call it RNG, I don't know. You know, it kind of just feels like sometimes intentional. Yeah, grabbing those extra runes. Just gonna head over to the next server gel. And again, that's 5% extra damage, which is all multiplicative. So it's all a different damage instance. So the more damage bonuses you have, the better. So any other damage you can squeeze onto your build, like talismans, bonus damage from item effects, etc., it makes that extra damage even more effective. I kind of opt to go inside of one of these caves to grab a purple smithing stone because I really like this Dragon Maul. I think I went through the wrong cave though. I'm gonna end up turning around, yeah, going in there with my teammate over here in this other one. Cave layouts are important. Some are quick, some are for whatever reason way too long. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this smithing stone, head out to this Evergel. Usually, your first Evergel you do, this is usually your most difficult. If you can make it past a level 1 Evergel, you're usually good to go for the rest of the run. Run just feels a lot easier. You can get to like level 4 or 5 right off the rip. But depending on what spawns out of there, you could be in some trouble. So it's kind of risky. Usually I stop and take out these bosses that aren't like the elite versions. It's just good good rooms. Might find a seal, might find a weapon that you're looking for. You never know. Once you understand the flow of the map, you don't really have to be in a hurry for too much stuff. Just keep good pace. As long as you're keeping a good pace, you'll be alright. Yeah, I just take stamina recovery. And you definitely want to grab a good melee weapon for the recluse. Like she can do a lot of damage with melee weapons as well. You know, just because she has a S skeleton and faith doesn't mean she have to have a seal. You know, some weapons also scale off faith, so you can find some pretty good weapons that can do a lot of damage as well. Grab improved dodging here, just add some extra immunity frames to our rolls. It's always good to have. For some reason, Libra's little circle that he spawns under the bottom of your feet when you're fighting him, Those things are really hard to evade sometimes. Like you gotta get the timing exactly right. So improved dodge rolling, it's just it's good at catching the tail end of that ability. Yeah, so right here I opt to just go ahead and get the Evergel open because, you know, being greedy is not, it's not worth, you know, throwing off your entire run in this game. Yeah, I think we might end up killing both bosses anyway, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this started. But yeah, better to be safe than sorry. Be casual at whiffing an attack. You know, don't be like me, be better. Yeah, in hindsight, it was good multitasking right here actually. You know, my team kind of takes out the wolf back there, and then I take out the Evergel boss. It's just in just enough time to get us out and get us over to the first day boss. Most of the time, unless I'm getting damage negation or maybe flask, extra flask damage. For the recluse, I think FP consumption reduction is really good. Not the recluse, but the revenant. Um, I don't know. I might have been actually calling her the revenant this whole time. I mean the recluse this whole time. But yeah, for the revenant, um, just anything that helps her FP out, just so she can spam her incantations a lot more, is helpful. Stamina, it's okay. She don't really need it unless, like, you know, you kind of have a really good weapon that you're using a lot. I managed to find this guardian talisman here. I'm gonna give it to my guardian up here. Yeah, found a Wraith Calling Bell. It's pretty decent DPS as well. If you need something to use your FP on, you haven't found a good incantation yet. But yeah, level 9 by the first day also, not bad. Just kind of looking for a melee weapon at this point. Once I find a good melee weapon, then we should be pretty much squared away for the run. You generally, finding a melee weapon is harder. I mean, it's easier than finding a good seal, so you want to focus on finding your good seal before worrying about a melee weapon. Her starting one is good enough to get the job done for whatever you need to do. Doesn't take any priority. If you find a good weapon, you know, pick it up, but you don't really want to focus on that for the revenant. Also, these raw revenants here, they take a lot of damage if you have your healing spell still. I think I ended up dropping mine earlier, so I didn't have it, but it'll allow you to kill this guy pretty quickly. Just popping your heal around his feet. Alright, after killing that guy, I'm gonna head over to this church, grab another sword stone key, hopefully at least. Then we're gonna get our weapon upgraded at some point, the seal that we have, just in case we can't find a better one. There we go, got another sword stone key. These guys are already handling him. Just gonna head over and look at this little pedestal, see if anything interesting. What is here, which is not, which is fine. Kind of already got a good seal, so we're not too worried about it. It's kind of looking with passives at this point. These aren't really any good. It's kind of taking his boss just because he's close. Most of the time, you don't want to, if you're right beside something, you don't want to like run off and leave it. I think here my team opted for just going for the sword stone. Keep trying to kind of running down this side down here. Then there's a madness camp as well, so they want to take their chance at finding a good madness weapon. I decided to go in here since the puzzle right in front of the door. Sometimes you can find a seal in these rises. It's not like a decent chance, I don't think, but I have found like the Earth Tree seal up here or whatever, and it has some pretty good effects on it. But yeah, I pretty much just, I think I grabbed the stamina recovery. It's not really all that worth using the staff on her. Yeah, you might notice that I lead with my ult most of the time in a fight. That's just cause every time we get a kill, you know, we get a ton of our ult charge restored. So I try to use it as much as possible. Get a lot of use out of it like that. Yeah, just grab some extra FP. Never can go wrong there on the Revenant. Got my seal upgrade to purple. Still looking for a weapon. Let's go head over here. If you have this merchant on your map, I advise always going to him and purchasing the talisman that gives you physical damage negation. It's always worth it in my opinion. It's only 15,000 runes, so just keep a little bit saved up. So once you get over there, you can grab it. These knights are actually super annoying in my opinion. If you get these guys at level 1, you're gonna have a rough time. They have like crazy extended combos and a lot of range or reach. Yeah, after clearing that, we're just gonna grab the boss like I say over here. Sometimes there's an enhanced boss that spawns right here. You also don't really want to aggro that guy if you're low level. You kind of spawn in around this area. Sometimes it's not the best first ever gel to take. Sometimes it can be helpful. Like if a dragon spawns over here and you get like a horde of enemies, you can kind of take advantage of the dragon aggro into you and get him to clear out the horde of enemies for you with his fire breath. That somebody'll probably die in the process, unfortunately, but it can help speed things up. But yeah, we don't end up getting all the other gels here, but you definitely could in one run. You just have to kind of optimize your run around the map. Probably takes a bit of communication with your teammates as well, which you can't do at the moment in the game. So you have to be thankful for when you get what you can get. But usually, like I say, 4 or 5, and you're good. Good little extra 20-25% bonus damage. Really adds up. Got some damage negation. I kind of have a rule. Every time I see damage negation, I pick it up. You know, it's always nice just to be tanky, even if you are really good at not getting hit. Doesn't hurt being prepared for when you do. Cause I've definitely had a lot of runs where like I could play perfectly and I can get hit clipped at the wrong time and find myself in some kind of weird situation or die something and my team just all go down after I do and runs just pretty much over after that. Not a good feeling. Doesn't happen often, but I feel like it only happens when I'm not prepared, so better to be prepared. And also, we saw the bell-bearing hunter down here. Now, I don't know about you guys, but anytime I run into this guy, I just immediately turn around and book it. I don't think he's worth fighting, to be honest. It just takes so long, and he's so dangerous. Because a lot of the times what'll happen is you'll end up fighting him, and at first, he'll look easy. Like once it gets to about half health, the guy kind of just starts wilding out, and one person will go down. And when that one person goes down, it's pretty much over. Yeah, we managed to get lucky and get the Crucible Knights as our opponents inside of the castle. Which, if you don't know, these guys have worked a lot of rooms. So anytime you have Crucible Knights, just try to wipe out as many as you can. Very much worth it. Pretty easy for the Revenant too, as long as you got your big golem guy or the skeleton one. They can stagger them pretty well. Let's grab me some affinity attack. Give me some extra damage on all my faith-based abilities. Don't really help for Dragon Maw, I don't think, cause it's not it's all physical damage. Yeah, but that's the reason why I say you need a good melee weapon, because you preserve your FP like that. And if you can find damage to the enemy with successive attacks restore FP, I suggest you go for that on the Revenant as well. It helps a lot. And there it is right there. We managed to find Vike's War Spear. And at this moment, I'm pretty excited, honestly, because now I finally get to try madness against the boss. But yeah, the Vike's War Spear is a pretty good weapon on its own too. So you find it and you don't have anything better, I said pick it up. It's pretty good. Even though you can't proc madness, which I'm hoping one day you will be able to, maybe in a new game. Nice little clutch revive from my Guardian now. There's just one thing that I have that I don't like about the Revenant. For some reason, if you summon one of your spirits, and like if you press the button the second time afterwards, like it'll just keep you. It's like this delay, and it'll keep you in stance. Like she'll just keep holding her heart, and if you keep pressing the button, it'll just keep resummoning it, and you have to actually press the button to toggle to deactivate it. I don't understand why it happens yet, but it's definitely kind of annoying at times. So this winged great horn, right? It reduces the enemy's damage negation. So I kind of opted to pick it over the seal just because the seal it really didn't have anything crazy on it. And with this item, like I can go ahead and debuff the boss and make him a lot weaker to pretty much any damage type. So I figured that would come in handy. But yeah, since we got Crucible Knights, pretty easy level 15 run. You can kind of expect that if you manage to get the Crucible Knights at the castle. But normally, even at a lower level, it's not the biggest deal. Like I said, I don't think level is quite as important as stacking damage and stuff. Okay, so this scenario, I actually almost ruined the run. We end up getting engaged with a death bird here while the circle wasn't closing, and we end up basically fighting two bosses at once. And the death bird, like he wouldn't come into range, so we could deal much damage to him. And like I didn't have any range incantations either to really finish him or attack him like I wanted to. So yeah, this got kind of ugly. This got close as well. Then there it is. Both my teammates go down. I'm the only person left alive. Crucible Knight spawns in. I think you guys can kind of see where this is going. If we get the Crucible Knight low enough before killing the Death Bird, then the Hippo is going to spawn as well. So we'll have 3 bosses running around, inside one boss arena. And that is not a good time. So here I'm kind of just thinking like what I should do. Death Bird's not backing off. Crucible Knight's still coming at me. So I know for a fact that I have to get my teammates up. My ulti is also close to coming up. So I'm like, well, do I use it? But at the same time, they only have one bar. So I just go for the L2 onto them. Managed to work out, thankfully. I have no flash left, by the way. Yeah. At this point, I kind of just chalk the run up as over. I'm like, we're probably just dead. I'm going to fail after doing so well. And then Death Bird despawns. Yep, so honestly that was a good thing. Me just kind of dancing around my ult while I can. Take advantage of the immortality. Also makes your summons immortal at the time as well. Kind of wondering if they should make your summons have a little bit more HP. One thing I can say about like when you're in solo, I don't know if the Revenant's summon HP scales up or anything, but it definitely feels like they die like pretty easily. She kind of needs her summons when she don't have a teammates. When you fight like situations like this, it's like 2 bosses and stuff. But yeah, but she is one of the more comfortable solo characters. But yeah, by some miracle, that all worked out. And I'm pretty sure if you ever like de-aggro a boss while the final circle has enclosed completely, everything outside the circle afterwards despawns. So I go back over here to check for the Death Bird, but I don't think it was there. Yeah, it's level 15 though. I got this wing great horn for the debuffs. I'm just kind of showing or reading what happens. Debuffs the enemies. Yeah, I think the passive also stacks with this ability effect, so that's pretty nice. You get a lot of damage negation reduction. So yeah, my Guardian also managed to find a Vike's War Spear, which means we had 2 of them. One thing I will say that I did test the Frenzied Flame incantations, they can be kind of tricky to force the boss to get madness or proc madness. Sometimes he just moves too much, he's too far away, or sometimes there's just not enough build up. So yeah, it really depends. But you know, you can usually still proc madness despite whatever spell you might get. Maybe other than Howl of Shabiri. You don't want to be howling nearby him. Lowering your defense and making him aggro to you. Otherwise, he's gonna hurt. But yeah, but here it is. As for deals from this guy, I would take the one that gives you like extra HP and defense, or I think it's stated as you want to have eventual greatness. I'll take that one. I took this one right here. It's only a couple deals I'll take. One that like lowers stamina for, I think, it's extra something. But yeah, I just start out basically casting this debuff on him. Trying to lower his damage negation a bit. Helps a lot in this fight. Especially when he goes into that bubble, you get a lot of resistances and stuff. So there it is right there. He procs madness and kind of streams or whatever goes up in the air, and then he just kind of starts doing his melee attacks like he would if you broke him out of his circle. That'll keep him from basically casting all of those spells, like the circles on the ground, and the other one that kind of shoots out those little flames of madness. They are pretty annoying. I think his melee attacks they hurt, but they are definitely better to get hit by than his madness ability. I also find it ironic that this boss' weakness is madness, and he used so much madness himself. I'm just kind of just waiting for a good opportunity to get my special ability off like that. Stop him from casting some of their spells. And like I said, as you can see, the fight's not nearly as crazy as it usually is. Ideally you want to kind of just survive against this guy anyway. As long as you're surviving, then you know you're doing good. But he does have the ability to kill you quickly. Like right there, I definitely could have died if I didn't have the right amount of health, or if I didn't have enough damage negation. Look for fire damage negation in your runs. Helps a lot for the madness damage. There we go, proc madness on him again. Just going to my ult here. Yeah, he's pretty weak to fire as well. Got my golden ult. It's pretty much over. But yeah, as you can see, Libra, not too bad at all if you actually find his weakness effect. So, I guess you could call him somewhat of a gimmick fight. But he definitely gives a lot of people a lot of trouble. And I think the enhanced version is probably going to be much worse. But yeah. That's how he looks if you trigger his weakness on him. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one.